Hey guys, what's up? It's Joe Rady from Rady's Rides. I'm at an all-new undisclosed location because we have an all-new Buick here. This is the 2020 Buick Encore GX. This particular one is the top trim level, the Essence trim. But before we get into this new small, compact crossover SUV, let's talk a little bit about Buick. Buick is that great American brand, part of General Motors now. It all started back in 1904. Their first vehicle was the Model B. That's what they called it. Over the years, Buick has really showcased a lot of design, a lot of styling overall. 1950s, so many beautiful examples of vehicles like the Buick Skylark. Fast forward to the 21st century, as many of you are aware, it's all about the SUV. Whether they're big, whether they're small, and everything in between. What Buick is trying to do is they're trying to bring a younger crowd, a crowd that really is a little bit more tech focused with this new Encore GX. Now, here's something crazy. This vehicle is actually all new from top to bottom, and that probably has you scratching your head because Buick already makes an Encore. This GX actually slots in between the regular Encore, straight up Encore, and the larger Buick Envision. It's gonna give you a little bit more size, it's gonna give you a little bit more style, but it's really gonna bring a lot of excellent technology to that interior. So let's go ahead, dive into this Buick Encore GX and see really, is it the best small crossover SUV to park in your garage. Right off the bat, very familiar, very unique styling. You can see how it's a little bit larger than the Encore, and I like that in the GX because it doesn't look so roundish like an egg. Even though this one is white, I'm not getting an egg vibe from it, so I'm very happy about that. Styling though, very Buick. Headlight housing, you're gonna get LED headlight, LED daytime running lamp, LED turn signal, so they got you covered there. I like the way they blacked out the whole interior of the headlight housing. You drop down, you got some nice flat black, LED fog lamps, and guess what? Some nice chrome trim. Really balances it out perfectly. Dark gray on the bottom, and then as we come across that iconic grille shape and iconic badge, the Buick badge. I know over the years, there hasn't been a lot of excitement coming from Buick, but I remember a kid being in the 1980s, the Buick Grand National and the Buick GNX were some pretty amazing vehicles. Gloss black, love the logo, the chrome trim, especially the way the chrome kind of follows all the way into the front fascia. We drop down, very simple, horizontal slots, flat black, and then I'm glad that they went with a nice mixture of gunmetal gray and then the flat silver. Really gives a lot of definition to the front end. Now when we get up onto the hood, you'll notice how they take the body line on the front fascia, they run it right into the hood, and then it disappears as you get towards the windscreen. The nice pearlescent white, and then you have these higher peaks that go nicely right into the A-pillar. Now, as we come around the bend on this Encore GX Essence trim, this is the wheel and tire setup that we have. So there's an 18-inch wheel. I like the machined aluminum, nice dark gray, overall great shape to it. You do have ventilated discs up front, 225 on the tire width, and a meaty 55 series sidewall. You can see how they brought that flat gray all the way around. Nice to see that they didn't just go with black ABS plastic. That kind of would cheapen it up a little bit. Very nice look and quality feel. Body line, very prominent, gives it multi-levels of definition to the side, looking clean. Now, as we go down the side of the Encore, you do have color match mirror caps. They just brought some bright silver trim along the top, which I think is super smart, and I'll show you why in a second. You have these nice flush mount roof rails. You could get your crossbars, put a kayak up there, a mountain bike, a little bit of gloss black, and then they brought the flat gray all the way on that lower sill area. I think the gray with the white really pops. Nice body line in the door. This is some of that Buick styling that they're bringing out. Now here's why I like the trim just on top. If you notice, it starts in front of the mirror and then it goes all the way down and splits and gives you that floating roof design. So the rear pillar is separated from the actual roof with that nice bright aluminum trim. My zonk is going to be that antenna. It looks like something off a remote control car. They could have put a nice slim shark fin antenna up top. Really nice body line coming into your taillights. And then overall the back, what I like about it is nothing is sticking out. It's all nice and flush, good size Rear window, here's something I want to point out. You see this camera up here? This has the digital rear view camera. I like that technology. This is technology that you're going to find in this Encore GX. You got your Buick badge, your Encore GX badging there. Nice, tasteful LED taillights. We drop down, more of that flat gray, some of that chrome trim that they brought up front. And then guess what? Look, they just made a design. They didn't try to make it look like fake exhaust or anything like that. Nice design, some flat silver, and then everything else is clean from underneath. But why don't we go ahead, let's pop the hood and see what's powering this Encore GX. All right, guys, we do have the hood open. You do have a prop rod. I am gonna zonk that. There should be no prop rods on a Buick, but underneath the hood is one of two inline 3-cylinder turbocharged engines. The base engine is a 1.2 liter, but the great news is we have the 1.3 liter inline 3 turbocharged engine, 155 horsepower, 174 pound-feet of torque. Now, our car is mated to a CVT transmission. If you option the all-wheel drive, you actually get a 9-speed automatic. Here's where you're really gonna come out the winner. 30 MPGs in the city, 32 on the highway. I like looking underneath the engine cover, underneath the hood there, and looking at the engine. You can clearly see where the turbo is located, closest to the firewall, but great MPGs out of a small, compact, subcompact SUV. Why don't we go ahead, let's get to the interior and see if Buick is bringing their A game for us on the inside. All right, guys, we're inside the 2020 Buick Encore GX, top level trim, that Essence trim. I know you're at the point where you're like, Joe, I've actually been looking for a subcompact crossover SUV. I've looked at some of the competition. I've even looked at the Encore. I'm liking this one. How much is it? Fully loaded the way you see it. Obviously, it doesn't have all-wheel drive or the 9-speed automatic. You're looking at MSRP right at $34,000. Let's see what you get for the money. To the door panels. Now, I do like the way they broke up what would have been a very bland door panel. You have soft touch material up top. The beige, not my cup of tea, but it is breaking up the sea of dark material. You do have a good sized pocket. You could easily put a couple Chipotle burritos and maybe a bottle of Mountain Dew in there to wash it all down. When you get to the dash, I like what's going on here. I like this trim. I wish they would have put some of this trim on the door panel. Nice soft touch material, the simulated stitching, soft touch all the way towards the center. Now look at how they integrated the AC vents. Very smooth, very seamless. Just a little bit of chrome trim to make it look classy. You have your 8-inch infotainment system, navigation, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, Wi-Fi hotspot. Very easy to navigate through. It's got the swipe feature. Really, really simple there. We could go into our cameras. So there we are out front. You do have your trajectory. You do have your 360. So if you like cameras, this thing is like a mobile photo booth. You have so many different ways. So there's the driver's side, front wheel there. We could go back around to the other sides, out the back. I mean, it's really, really easy to use. And then when you want to go home, you just hit the home button there. Nice, simple, seamless. We drop down. You do have dual climate control, which is a great touch. It's a little confusing. There's a little bit too much going on here, and you actually have to, here's your blower fan switch buttons here. No ventilated seats. So at $34,000, I would like to see ventilated seats. You can see there's two dead buttons there, but you do have heated seats, which I'm going to shut that off because it's already hot as can be. You got your start stop button with a little bit of aluminum trim around it. We drop down USB-C, USB, aux jack, and a 12 volt, all conveniently placed, and wireless cell phone charging down there. You're going to get all your safety features, lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, adaptive cruise control, 2 cup holders, and then this is going to control that CVT transmission. I do like the silver and just a little bit of gloss black to kind of sprinkle things up and make things a little exciting. Key fob actually looks tasteful. It's a good size. It's got the Buick badge on there. You got remote start, which is great, and you could also pop the hatch remotely. Little area, as you can see, for wallets, keys. Maybe fill it up with some popcorn. Maybe you're just driving down the road, you're getting great MPGs, you don't have to stop at a gas station. Chew on some popcorn. A little bit of butter, some salt in there. That could be a nice little popcorn bowl. Little hard on the armrest, but you got the stitch work. You flip it up, look at this. Buick knows how to party. You have a party tray. Fill that up with peanut M&Ms, maybe from some small those little Snickers cubes that you could get. Or if you don't want it, just throw it in the back seat. But you do have some space in there. You could probably put, I'd say about 14 to 15 Twinkies. Stack them up in there, you're good to go. It's like loaded up, just boom, boom, knock them down. Seats, soft leather. I love the perforated material. The stitch work is great. You're gonna have your power control for lower lumbar. You can slide the seat. The only zonk is manual seat backs. So that is a little confusing why they did that. The great news though, you got plenty of headroom in here. Nice, light and bright. And then look at this, there's Victor. Say hello to Victor, everybody, but watch, Victor's gonna disappear, boom. You got that beautiful camera out the back, the clarity. You could watch a movie on that, which makes sense because you got your popcorn holder and you could watch TV on your mirror. No, you really can't do that, but it's super clear, I promise you that. Come on over to the business end though. I wanna show you behind the wheel of this Encore GX. All right, guys, business time. You have 2 memory seat settings, which is really great. And then look at how they put very nice, tasteful aluminum badge down here, Buick. Nice touch, shows you that class. You have your seat controls, easy to get to. Now, for me, on the driver's side, I do have electric back. It's just on that manual side, but at $34,000, it would be nice for everybody to have power, at least up front. Steering wheel, I actually like the thickness. It's got beautiful contrast crisscross stitching. There's that Buick badge, so much history. Flat black on the buttons. You do have a head-up display, but my problem with it is that it's the old style where you gotta wait for that little plastic screen to flip up. But what's cool is you could put your tachometer, speedometer, all that good stuff in that head-up display. And then the dash, simple, straightforward. You got an analog tach, analog speedometer, digital bar graph for fuel and coolant, and then you could scroll through a whole buffet of information in that center digital display, and it's really clear graphics. So that's a nice extra touch there. But overall, the amenities that you have are really great up front. Let's go ahead and check out the back seat and see how your passengers are going to enjoy driving in this Encore GX. All right, guys, back seat time in the Encore. Now, what's nice is that the way that the roof is, I got plenty of headroom back here, and I'm 6 feet tall, just as much as I had up front. I do like the way they put the leather all the way around. Nice large pocket. You can put some Slim Jims, some Twizzlers in there, and then you're going to have, look at this, home power source, a USB and a USB-C, nicely placed for the backseat passengers. No rear AC, which is a little bit of an issue for me, but here's the cool thing, and I'm actually going to take away half a zonk for the passenger seat up front not being power. Watch this. Say you want to just, you want to just kind of lay out and relax. Boom. This is nice. If you didn't have a passenger up there, obviously if you have a passenger up there, you just squished them like a sandwich. But with nobody up there, you can just sit back here. I literally can just nap back here and have a good time. I almost feel like I'm being chauffeured around. So that's why they have the plastic on the back of the seats in between the pocket there, so that you could just put your feet up there and not scratch anything. And then look, on top of this, there we go. Excuse me, do you have a bottle of Grey Poupon? Because that's how I feel back here. I feel like I'm living large and in charge. 2 cup holders, plenty of space up here, waving to everybody as you're driving by like you're the king of the world. But why don't we go ahead, let's check out the cargo area and see if there's some big things that we can fit into this small package. All right, guys, time to get into the cargo area. What's nice is that there's no handle or anything. You just push the button here, comes up at a good pace. Now, just be aware of how high the loading floor is, just something to think about. Floor is nice and flat. You got a nice little cubby for your emergency Twinkies over here, maybe some ding dongs or some cupcakes. We lift this up, you do have a spare and extra storage in there. So if you want to surprise your husband or wife with a present, put it back there and then tell them to go change the flat and give them a nice present back there. That closes down. Now let's see, how do you put down the seats? I'm gonna actually come over here just to make it a little easier on myself, but you're just gonna push the button and fold the seat down. So here I am, hello. Nice and flat, really gives you that flexibility in a small space. Obviously the security shade pops out, but Victor's really working hard there to show you what the space is in the back. But overall, really shows the nice versatility of it. Let's get to the best part. If you're ready, I'm ready. Let's take this Encore GX for a spin. All right, guys, we're leaving our undisclosed location. We're inside the 2020 Buick Encore GX. Right away, what I love is the seating position in this vehicle. You're able to use those electric controls for the driver's side and really just set yourself up perfectly. Good visibility out the front, side mirrors are great, even visibility out the back is crystal clear. And then on top of that, you do have your digital rear view camera, which is gonna be nice to give you a super clear view. Now the head-up display, like I said, the zonk part of it is that it is that plastic shield that needs to pop up for you to be able to use the head-up display, but what you see is really amazing. Like the tachometer, I've been in 90,000, 100,000 sports cars that don't have as good a tach in their head-up display as this Buick Encore GX does. So that really is a nice, pleasant surprise. Let's do an acceleration test here. Left foot brake, on throttle. So you're basically looking at 0 to 60 in around 8.9 seconds. Not meant to be a barn burner by any mean, but definitely where you are the winner at the end of the day is at the pump. 30 miles a gallon in the city, 34 on the highway is really, really amazing. Infotainment, easy to get to. I like the way that they have the wireless charging that's nicely placed, so you can just drop your phone in there. Instrumentation, very simple to look at a quick glance, and you know exactly what's going on, how much fuel you have, what's your temp at, what's your speed, all that great stuff. And then having that flexibility for the backseat passenger to be able to fold down the front seat and really just lay out and relax, I like that. And yes, you can do that with your seatbelt still on. So Buick wants you to be safe, but they also want you to be comfortable as well, and you can be very comfy in this Encore GX. All right, guys, another thing that I really like about this Encore GX is I think it's the perfect size if especially you live in the city where you're able to navigate very easily through just about anything, but you have enough room to where you feel comfy. I like that in this particular vehicle. Sound deadening is really nice, not a bunch of wind noise, and the amount of headroom you have, you're definitely not feeling claustrophobic one bit. One thing I am sort of missing is maybe like some different drive modes. There's no drive mode selection or anything like this in the Encore GX. That maybe would be something that, you know, that could change how the transmission and the engine behave and whatnot in a little bit more sporty fashion. The infotainment system though, what's amazing is that it's tilted towards the windshield, but yet there's no glare on it. And it's easy to navigate through the navigation. And yes, that was a pun intended, but the navigation is very straightforward, very simple to figure out. And I like that so that you're not fumbling with a bunch of stuff. All right, guys, let's get on throttle again. Transmission drops down. You have simulated shifts in that CVT. Not too much racket coming from that inline-3 turbocharged engine. Goes over the bumps very nicely. Very composed, so I think you're gonna like that as well. And to be honest with you, I could see this being a vehicle that you could take out on the highway and really get not only great mileage out of, but you're gonna have a nice, comfortable ride out of this Buick Encore GX. But hopefully this gave you a nice overall view of what this subcompact crossover SUV is all about. We're gonna get back to our undisclosed location and wrap this one up, so I'll see you in a split second. All right, guys, it's been another great day here on Rady's Rides. Definitely got to thank everybody over at Buick for allowing us access to this all new, from top to bottom, side to side, Encore GX. It's interesting because this segment of the SUV industry, that subcompact SUV, is really heating up. And I think going the GX, you're getting a little bit more size, but you can see all those amenities, and it's definitely something worthwhile to add to your list for when you are shopping for your next small subcompact crossover SUV. Interesting to see what's going to happen and who exactly, if that younger market can be brought over to the Buick fold. But if it's small size SUVs like these that you want to see on Rady's Rides, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're new to the channel and you're on your way out, hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's worthwhile coming back for more. If you are a subscriber, thank you for being part of the Rady's Rides family. If you want to help us keep making great content just for you on the channel, click the link in the description, get yourself some Rady's Rides merch. Got to give it up to Victor. He actually chose this spot because when he saw grow and read, he was like, wow, that makes me feel good inside. That makes my heart warm. So thank you, Victor, for sharing your feelings and getting the spot for us. And just like always, guys, I'll see you on the next ride.